Dan.
Afternoon, guys.
Hi.
Just wanted to ask you about team news ahead of Villa. Do you have any injuries or concerns?
Team news. No, we're pretty good, I think. No real concerns from last weekend. Would expect it to be fairly similar squad wise. Santi Bueno, bit of a tight hamstring. Didn't do the full session with the group today, but we're hopeful that he'll be back in tomorrow. So apart from that, everyone's fine.
Great. And after that Manchester City win last week, and how much of a list has that given everyone in the squad?
Yeah, of course to win a Premier League game, first one at home for me as well, is obviously big. The group have been working extremely hard, so to put another victory on the board. We knew how tough the run of fixtures were at the start of the season. There's been some really tough ones in there, especially the home games. Still some more tough ones to come as well, but a tough run for us. So to put 2 wins on the board, one against obviously European champions, was a big plus, big lift for everybody, especially the way the lads went about it, and that they didn't feel like there was too much luck involved or needed, that it was a real good performance, everyone understanding their roles, and even though we got pegged back from sort of a goal out of nothing, we managed to get our noses in front again. So a really good win for us.
I want to ask you about one player in particular, Pedro Neto. The sporting director said this week that he went to see him and said how much he's enjoying playing under you. I just wonder what we've done with him, your conversations with him to get him back to playing at top level again after his injury. Yeah,
he's worked extremely hard. It's him really, and his commitment to what we try and do. His understanding of the tactical stuff that we give him. His understanding of all the individual work and the extras that we do, and how committed he is to them and wanting to improve. And then just his work rate, his enthusiasm around the place, and delighted for him. I think you're pleased when everybody does well, but when someone as committed and enthusiastic and willing to work as Pedro is, gets some success, you're really pleased for them. So he's been a huge positive since I've walked him.
Just last few from you, VAR has been in the discussion a lot this week off the back of the Liverpool-Tottenham match. I just wonder if you listened to the audio, if you had any thoughts on that incident.
I haven't listened to the audio actually, but I've heard about it obviously from a lot of people. I'm obviously surprised. I get it. I get the fact that there's human error and there's a mix-up. I understand that can happen. It was obviously a big mix-up. I just think this season, even probably more so than last, there seems to have been more errors made. So I'm just hopeful that the guys can improve it. I know they're not making mistakes on purpose. They're not obviously not getting things wrong because they want to. So hopefully they can just improve the processes. Probably just similar to when you're coaching a football team. There's things that go wrong and you look to improve the processes. And I'm sure that's where they are. So I hope they can fix it. I hope we can get it to a place where sort of everyone understands it and you can sort of see what's coming next, which is where I'm a little bit lost at the moment with even the handball last night in the Aston Villa game, where it hits the boy's face, then his hand. It's like, it's fairly similar to Zhao at Luton, and the ref gets sent to the screen and it gets overturned, and I'm a bit like, it's strange, really strange, Trevor. So I don't really know what's coming next at the moment, and similar to the offsides as well, some of the lines that are drawn I'm not convinced about, and I've spoken to them about this. I'm not sure how accurate they are. I think for me it needs improving, but I'm sure they're working hard to improve it. I'm sure they know that as well as I do.
Just on that offside point, we've seen the semi-automated system in the Champions League this week. Do you think that's maybe a way forward?
Yeah, I haven't looked into it too much, but it seems I would, from limited research that I've done on it, it looks to be more accurate to me. So anything that we can bring in, of course, to make the decision making more accurate and better will be helpful. But I'm sure the guys are working hard at trying to make sure it's as good as it can be.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So it sounds like Gary won't be asking to replay the Luton or the Man United games.
No, I'm happy to replay both. Yeah, I'll replay both. Any game we've lost, I'm happy to replay.
Aston Villa this weekend, you were on the coaching staff in their opening game of last season when Steven Gerrard was the manager. Unai Emery takes over and has completely changed their fortunes. From a coach's point of view, can you assess the job that he's done?
Yeah, he's done incredibly well. Played against O'Neil Aston Villa last season as well, and they were very good. Really good understanding of their structure and what he's trying to do with them. You can see that they've been doing it now for quite a long time, and there's a good understanding, and they've managed to evolve it with some good signings as well in the summer. Some fantastic players there as well. Obviously, Ollie Watkins back in the England squad. Jacob Ramsey, I know he's been in and out with injuries, but he's a big threat. Diaby, they signed in the summer, is a big threat. So strong squad. So yeah, it'll be a good test for us, but one that we're ready for. The boys sort of understand what Aston Villa are and what to expect. So obviously one more day's prep for us, and then into a local derby that I'm sure everyone's looking forward to.
Yeah, you're expecting a derby atmosphere?
Yeah, I would think so. I think the atmosphere in the home games has been really good in every game. Then obviously, especially Manchester City, I know bumped into a few fans around the area talking to me about it was one of the best they've seen it. The stadium atmosphere wise, sort of connection with the players to the supporters, which is what we want to create. It's big for us. Home form's going to be big. So another game that we can go and have a go at. Of course, Aston Villa I think they've only lost two league games so far. Liverpool and Newcastle, 5th in the league. So it's a big test. They're a good side. It seems to be at every home game at the minute we've faced one of the guys in the top 5, top 4. But a good test for us, and one that I'm sure we can go and have a real good go at and try and put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, finally, how would you like to capitalise on the fact that they had the Conference League match later in the week? Although they did change a few of their players, a lot of them have had more minutes this week.
Yeah, I mean, it can have a bearing, I think, but as you say, they managed to rotate, and then I'm sure they'd have rested ones that they think were really important for this weekend's game. So, they've got, what have they got, two-day turnaround, so it's not like it's unbelievably close for them. But of course, we've had a full week, we've had a clear week, we've had not too many injuries, so hopeful that we can be in a real good place, start the game quickly, especially at home, and then try and stick to the plan and make sure we execute.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Gary, you were pretty pumped after last week's game. I'm not surprised. Did you sleep after that?
Yeah, no, I slept fine. One of my better nights' sleep, actually, since taking the job. But yeah, it was, of course, beating Manchester City. I know they had a couple of the players missing, but still an incredible Manchester City side that were had a 100% record when they came to us. And knowing how big the result was for the players and the work that had gone in, it was obviously a satisfying evening for us. So you don't get to enjoy it for too long. Quickly focused now onto Aston Villa and trying to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to Mario Lavina and I heard a couple of the other players interviewed, and the one thing that they all said was, we knew the plan was right. There's no motivating factor quite like knowing that what you're doing is working. I feel it's working. So.
Yes, you can gain positive energy from situations looking how you prepped for. So that's sort of the idea on how we work. Of course, it's never always as simple as that, and you can't always guarantee where the opposition are going to be. A couple of teams who played this year have changed it up when they've played us, or things haven't been quite so accurate, and that's where working with the group for longer is important, because I need to improve their understanding so they're not as reliant on everything being exactly where I've told them it will be. Them having an understanding of different situations and how to adapt and adjust. So Aston Villa fairly well structured, use a similar structure a lot. Obviously personnel wise may change it slightly, but we should have a fair idea of what it needs to look like, and players seem to have understood it well this week so far.
Yeah, I wonder if that's one of the things that most attracts you to doing a job like this, the fact that you can get into the minutiae of that and sort of play that game.
It's something they're not used to, the group, having spoken to them, sort of more used to more sort of generic game plans and having to think on their feet, and so obviously getting used to a different style, but not saying that this style is any better than the old one, but just a different style. But yeah, they're taking it all on board. Of course, nothing's perfect. There's one of the things we put in so much detail into a game plan is then if the opposition come with a different one, you know, the lads need to be able to switch off from that game plan quickly and move on to the next one. But yeah, they're taking it on board well, and hopefully we can get it right at the weekend. And another 3 points before international break would be big for us.
Just one more thing, if I may, from a very local point of view, it is a West Midlands derby, but you've got players from all four corners of the globe, and so have they. I wonder if you feel this generation of players gets the idea of a local derby and what it means to fans from both clubs in the same way as maybe players used to. There were a few more local connections.
Yeah, no, I think it would be different from sort of a player point of view, because obviously if you were brought up in the West Midlands and then you'd been to the game as a fan and you'd grown up with it, you'd understand exactly what it is. But they get a real good understanding from the supporters and what it means to the area. So yeah, they know that it's an important game for the spectators. But to be fair, pretty much all of them are nowadays. So yeah, we understand our job every weekend, and yeah, make sure we win, make sure we put some smiles on some faces, and then yeah, everyone's happy.
Good.
Turn the cameras off now, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Gary.
Hi.
Just ask about